Right now, comment where you're watching from and what time it is, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter everything you thought you knew about this hidden country. There's a place where women marry 3 times by tradition, where children as young as 3 are worshipped as living gods, and where the dead are cremated in public while families picnic beside the flames. A nation squeezed between 2 superpowers that has never been conquered. This is Nepal, and you've been lied to about almost everything. Number 20. The country that defied empire. Nepal, 147,516 square kilometers, smaller than New York State, yet it cradles 8 of the world's 10 highest peaks, including Everest. But here's what they don't tell you. 75% of this nation is a natural fortress of jagged mountains, hanging glaciers, and gorges so deep they swallow sound. China presses from the north. India surrounds it from the south, east, and west. 2 nuclear powers, 2 billion people, 2 empires that have conquered nearly everything they've touched. Nepal? Never colonized, not once in its entire history. While Europe carved up Africa, while Britain enslaved India, while China absorbed Tibet, Nepal stood alone, protected not by armies, but by geography so brutal it became a weapon. The mountains here don't just rise, they reject invasion. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear what happens to time itself inside these borders. Number 19, where time breaks down. GMT +5:45. Not +5, not +6, 5 hours and 45 minutes. Nepal is 15 minutes off from India, out of sync with China, impossible to coordinate with the rest of the world. And that's just the official time. In remote villages, clocks don't exist. The sun decides when you wake, when you eat, when you sleep. One village calls 9 a.m. what another calls 8:30. Appointments become guessing games. Tourists arrive on time and are told they're hours early or late. Near the Chinese border, people use Beijing time, 2 hours ahead. Near India, Indian Standard Time rules. In the mountains, village time, whatever the elder announces that morning. Even vaccination schedules are listed in estimated village time. Imagine living where punctuality is a myth, where your watch means nothing, where the only constant is the sun's arc across jagged peaks. If that doesn't make your head spin, this will. Nepal's flag isn't even a rectangle. Number 18, the flag that broke the rules. Every nation on Earth uses a rectangular flag, every single one, except Nepal. 2 stacked triangles, sharp, aggressive, unmistakable. The only non-quadrilateral national flag in existence. Those triangles? The Himalayas, the peaks that guard this nation like stone sentries. But also Hinduism and Buddhism, 2 faiths that share the same sacred sites, the same festivals, the same temples. No religious wars here, no forced conversions. Crimson red, bravery, the color of rhododendrons bleeding across mountainsides in spring. Blue border, peace, the kind of peace that comes from knowing you've survived what broke everyone else. This flag wasn't designed for aesthetics, it was designed as a statement. We are not like you. We never will be. And speaking of things that defy logic, Nepal's approach to marriage will make Western minds explode. Number 17, 1 woman, 3 husbands, 1 man, 4 wives. In Humla, in the remote highlands, monogamy is a luxury. A woman might marry 3 brothers, not for love, for survival. 3 men means 3 incomes, 3 sets of hands to work the land, 3 sources of security in a place where winter can kill you. A man might take multiple wives. Each one manages a different part of the household, children, livestock, crops. It's not romance. It's resource management in a place where romance is a death sentence. When a husband dies, his widow marries his brother, not out of desire, out of necessity, to keep the land intact, to prevent outsiders from seizing the family's only wealth. Wedding gifts? Forget gold, forget jewelry. Livestock, grain, Labor contracts. A man might buy a wife by promising to plow her family's fields for 3 harvests. Everything is negotiable. Everything is pragmatic. Everything is about staying alive. But if you think that's extreme, wait until you see what they do to little girls. Pause. If what you just heard didn't make you hit subscribe, I need you to ask yourself, why are you okay with staying ignorant? Thousands of people are watching this right now, learning things that will change how they see the world. And you're just scrolling? If you're not subscribing, drop a comment telling me why. I genuinely want to know what's stopping you from accessing knowledge like this for free. Go ahead. Oh, wait. Number 16. The living goddess who can't touch the ground. Her name is Kumari. She's 7 years old, and she is God. Not a symbol of God, not a representative. She is the goddess Teleju, in flesh, in blood, in breath. Chosen through brutal spiritual trials, locked in a palace called Kumarigar. No school, no friends, no childhood. And her feet, her bare feet, can never, ever touch the earth. The ground is profane. If her skin meets dirt, she loses her divinity instantly. So she's carried everywhere, on golden palanquins, by priests, by devotees who bow so low their foreheads scrape stone. She appears in public twice a year. Thousands gather. Silence falls like a shroud. They stare at a child and see the divine. But here's the horror. If she bleeds, even a scratch, even a lost tooth, she's replaced immediately. Her godhood ends. She's returned to civilian life, cast out from the sacred into the ordinary. And most Nepalese men won't marry her, ever. Because how do you marry someone who used to be God? If that made your skin crawl, brace yourself, because Nepal's approach to boys is even stranger. Number 15. 3-year-old monks and reincarnated masters. In Tibetan Buddhist monasteries across Nepal, toddlers don saffron robes and begin training. 3 years old, maybe 4, too young to read, too young to understand what they've lost. But some are different. Some are tulkus, reincarnations of dead lamas. High monks search for them, look for signs, birthmarks, memories of past lives, unusual behaviors. When they find one, the child is taken, raised as the literal rebirth of a master who died decades ago, treated with absolute reverence. A 5-year-old tulku might walk through a village and every adult will bow, hands pressed together, heads lowered, offerings given. Picture this, a boy sucking on a lollipop, blinking with wide, confused eyes, while grown men prostrate themselves at his feet. He is a bodhisattva. He is enlightenment incarnate. He is a child who will never have a normal life. And while the world watches these boys with fascination, they ignore the women who are actually superhuman. Number 14. The women who carry 100 kilograms up Everest. Forget Western feminism, forget boardrooms and glass ceilings. Nepalese women carry 100 kilograms of supplies up mountains where most tourists can't breathe. They do this in traditional attire, smiling, with firewood baskets strapped to their shoulders and babies tied to their backs. Meanwhile, 29% of Nepal's parliament seats are held by women, the highest in South Asia. But here's the paradox. These same women often enter arranged marriages. 3 marriages in a lifetime by tradition. The first for family alliance, the second for security if widowed, the third sometimes just because the mountains are harsh and survival requires flexibility. They fall in love slowly, but when they commit, it's absolute. Loyalty that would make Western romance novels look shallow. And increasingly, they're marrying foreigners. Facebook, Instagram, dating apps.
The rate has tripled in a decade. Modern Nepalese women want partners who respect tradition and independence, not one or the other, both. But while women redefine their roles, there's a group of men who are literal genetic anomalies. The Sherpas, humans who evolved beyond human. Tourists struggle up Everest with oxygen tanks, professional guides, and tens of thousands of dollars in gear. Sherpas carry 100 kilograms of luggage on their backs without supplemental oxygen, and they do it casually. They live at 3,000 plus meters, permanent residence in air so thin it would kill most people in hours. Their bodies adapted, slower heart rates, hyper-efficient lungs, more red blood cells, genetics that turn them into living altitude machines. Scientists call it genetic mutation. Locals call it Himalayan supermen. Without Sherpas, Everest wouldn't be conquered, ever. They are the invisible backbone of every summit. They carry the tents, the oxygen, the food, and often the bodies of failed climbers. But if you think that's dangerous, wait until you hear about Nepal's airports. Number 12. The runway where pilots pray before landing. Tenzing Hillary Airport, Lukla. Runway length, 527 meters. That's 1/10 the length of a normal airport. Gradient, 12%. It's literally built on a slope. Altitude, 2,850 meters. Thin air, unpredictable winds, weather that shifts from sun to blizzard in seconds. No autopilot, no radar, no room for error.
Pilots must have special certification just to land here. One miscalculation and you're gone. Plane, passengers, everything. Over the cliff edge into a gorge so deep they'll never find the wreckage. Locals call it the runway of steel-nerved pilots. Tourists call it a near-death experience, and it's the only way to reach Everest Base Camp. Every year, thousands board those planes. Every year, they wonder if they'll be the unlucky flight. But airports aren't the only death-defying infrastructure here. Number 11, cableways that carry coffins across chasms. No roads, no bridges, valleys hundreds of meters deep. So how do villagers cross? Steel cables, homemade iron baskets, pulleys that screech with rust. They call them sky buses, but there's no ticket booth, no safety inspection, just courage and grip strength. People ride them, livestock ride them, rice, timber, coffins. Imagine, you're in a metal basket suspended by a single cable over a mist-filled abyss. Wind howls, the basket sways. One loose bolt and you're gone. For tourists, it's nightmare fuel. For locals, it's Tuesday. Some use hand cables, manual zip lines, where you grip the pulley with your bare hands and glide across. No harness, no backup. These systems have existed for decades. They're the only lifeline connecting remote villages to the outside world. And you thought your commute was bad. Let me ask you something brutal. If you've made it this far and you still haven't subscribed, what's your excuse? Are you just here to consume and leave? Thousands of people right now are hitting that button because they understand the value of what they're learning. Meanwhile, you're sitting there doing nothing. If you're not subscribing, I need you to comment and tell me why. Be honest, what's holding you back? Is it laziness, indifference, or do you genuinely think you don't need this? I'm genuinely curious. Number 10, sacred cows and 12 years in prison. In Nepal, killing a cow is a crime worse than many violent offenses, up to 12 years in prison. Why? Because cows are the embodiment of Lakshmi, goddess of wealth and prosperity. Hinduism doesn't just revere cows, it legally protects them. During the Gai Jatra festival, cows are painted with red and yellow powder, draped in flower garlands, paraded through streets like celebrities. Families feed them fruits and sweets, offer blessings, treat them like honored guests. In ancestor worship,
Cows are believed to guide departed souls, so treating cows well equals showing filial piety. But here's the twist. Nepali people do eat buffalo meat. It's the loophole. Buffalo isn't sacred, so it becomes the substitute in every traditional meal. Religious devotion meets practical hunger, and somehow it works. But cows aren't the only sacred presence in public spaces. Number 9. Cremation picnics by the river. In the West, death is hidden, funerals are private, grief is concealed. In Nepal, cremation happens in public, by the Bagmati River, in full view of everyone. Bodies burn on open pyres, smoke rises, ashes scatter into the water. And right beside the flames, locals stroll, eat snacks, take photos, chat, laugh. It's not disrespect, it's acceptance. Death isn't the end, it's a return to nature, a transition. The Bagmati River is considered the twin sister of the Ganges. Anyone cremated here achieves instant salvation, freedom from the cycle of rebirth. Elderly Nepalese move to the riverbanks in their final years, not to die in despair, but to prepare peacefully. For tourists, it's shocking, disturbing even. For Nepalese, it's just life. But if you think that's unsettling, the next mystery will haunt you. Number 8. The Sky Caves. 10,000 holes and 0 answers. In Mustang, near the Tibetan border, cliffs rise like jagged teeth. Carved into them, over 10,000 caves, some 50 meters above the ground. No ladders, no scaffolding, no modern tools. Who built them? When? How? Inside, mummies, human bones, ancient Buddhist murals, pottery, fire pits, but no records, no stories, no memory. It's as if an entire civilization was erased. Some say they were monastic retreats for Tibetan lamas. Others believe they're high-altitude burial sites, bringing souls closer to the heavens. Some think they were war refuges. The truth? No one knows. The caves sit silent, waiting, watching, holding secrets that might never be solved. And while archaeologists scratch their heads, there's a group of people in Nepal risking their lives for liquid gold. Number 7. The honey hunters who dance with death. Cliffs over 100 meters high, sheer rock faces, no paths, no safety gear. And clinging to those cliffs, giant wild honeycombs. The Garoon people descend on rope ladders, bare hands, smoke torches, long knives.
The bees? Massive, aggressive, venomous. One swarm can deliver hundreds of stings. One wrong move, a fall into oblivion. But the honey they harvest isn't ordinary. It's made from bees that feed on white rhododendron flowers. The nectar contains grayonotoxins, mild hallucinogens. Locals call it mad honey. Used in traditional medicine, treats pain, relaxes nerves, boosts vitality. On the international market, $500 plus per liter. But only the Gurung dare harvest it. Each collection season is a gamble with death, and somehow they keep going back. Number 6. Names that tell stories. Born during a rainstorm? Your name is Bara, rain. Born during a landslide? Pahiro, landslide. Some names are literal diary entries. Didn't reach the clinic in time. Yes, that's a real name. In remote villages, birth certificates don't exist. People live entire lives with nicknames: fire, lamp, basket. Only when official documents are needed do they invent formal names, but everyone still uses the old ones. And names are given based on parental mood: happy parents, hope, or light; tired parents, bored, or let's just see. It sounds absurd, but for many Nepalese, a name doesn't need to be beautiful. It needs to be authentic. Number 5. The most romantic city you've never heard of. Pokhara.
Crystal-clear Fewa Lake mirrors the snow-capped Annapurna Range. Paragliding, kayaking, mountaineering, trekking. They call it the Switzerland of Asia, but with more mystery. Nearby, Janakpur, birthplace of the goddess Sita from the Ramayana. The Janaki Mandir temple draws thousands of Hindu pilgrims each year. And Lumbini, birthplace of Buddha himself, UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Maya Devi Garden, the Ashoka Pillar, monasteries from Thailand, Japan, Myanmar. For millions of Buddhists, Lumbini is one of the world's most sacred pilgrimage sites. But pilgrims aren't the only ones drawn to Nepal's magic. Number 4. Festivals where dogs are gods. Tihar Festival. 5 days, 5 different beings honored. Day 1, crows. Day 2, dogs. Day 3, cows. Dogs get their foreheads painted, flower garlands, lavish meals, treated like divine protectors. Why? Because in Hindu belief, dogs guide souls to the afterlife. Then there's Holi, the festival of colors. Streets explode in vibrant powders. Strangers become friends. White clothes become living art. Forgiveness, bonding, joy. And the hot air balloon festival in Pokhara, 25+ balloons rising into clear blue skies beside the lake. A fairy tale come to life. These aren't just festivals. They're expressions of a culture that refuses to take life too seriously. Number 3. The food that fuels a nation. Dal bhat. Rice, lentil soup, vegetables, curry, sometimes meat. Eaten twice a day, every day, by everyone. There's even a saying, Dal bhat power 24-hour. Then there's momo, Himalayan dumplings, thin dough, minced meat, ginger, garlic, onion, steamed or fried, served with spicy tomato sauce. Tourists call them the dim sum of the Himalayas. Tukpa, hot noodle soup, rich broth, meat, vegetables, perfect for freezing mountain nights. And for the brave, chiang, fermented rice beverage, and roxy, Himalayan rice spirit. Present at weddings, celebrations, fireside conversations. Simple food, but it tells the story of a people who've mastered survival in one of Earth's harshest environments. Number 2. Living here costs less than your coffee habit. Dal bhat meal is $1. Free refills until you're stuffed. Momos for breakfast, vegetable rice for lunch, tukpa for dinner, under $3 total. Homestays along trekking routes, $8 to $10 a night, mountain views included. Some offer free lodging if you eat there. Local buses, 20 cents to 50 cents per trip. Taxis, $2 to $4. Private car for a full day, $25 to $30. Handmade yak wool scarves, $2 to $3. Quality Sherpa jackets, under $10. With $300 to $400, you can explore Nepal for 2 weeks. Most travelers spend more than that on a single hotel night in New York City. And number 1, Kathmandu, the Living Museum. A city over 2,000 years old, 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites within 30 kilometers, over 130 ancient temples, Buddhist stupas, palaces. But here's what makes Kathmandu unique. People live in these heritage sites. Families cook meals in 17th century wooden houses. Weddings happen under 3,000-year-old temple roofs. Shrines sit on residential rooftops. Morning, incense for the gods. Afternoon, drying blankets on the same spot. The sacred and mundane collapse into one. No velvet ropes, no museum hours, just life, unfiltered, unpreserved, alive. You've just witnessed 20 truths about a country the world doesn't want you to understand. If this didn't change how you see culture, survival, and humanity, then you weren't paying attention. So here's your choice. Subscribe and keep learning what they don't teach you, or scroll away and stay comfortable in ignorance. Which fact hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. And if you want to know how to actually visit this place, comment yes, and I'll guide you through the visa process step by step. Nepal isn't just a country, it's proof that the world still has secrets. And now, you're one of the few who knows them.